So, welcome to Multidimensional Healing's Healing Anger special session. And so, I've already created a group field. And in this group field, we're meeting sacred divine intelligence, and I simply call source. So, we're welcoming them in, and we're welcoming in a special guide that's going to come into your system through your crown, into your heart, and it's the Angel Jophiel. The Angel Jophiel is the angel of illumination, and she's going to help with revealing what you need to see, but also she's going to help with your receiving and your handling of the energy in the exact way each of you needs. So, welcoming the Angel Jophiel, and she's going to really kind of light up your system on the count of three, just to kind of give you a taste of what it's like to have an angel in your system. So, three, two, one. Angel Jophiel coming into your system. And to me, she just feels like home, like a slice of home, because we're all coming into the awareness of our divinity, of our greater connection on the spiritual realm, of our divine self. And so the second thing we're going to do is just help with the divine space we've created by chanting the sound of Om 3 times. And to me, this enhances the vibrational aspect of the sacred space we've created. And you're welcome to join on your end, or just allow the sound of Om to move in, around, and through you. So I'm going to be doing it 3 times, taking an in breath, and on the out breath, we're chanting the sound of Om 3 times. You ready? All right, taking a deep breath in. Om. And the second breath in. Om. And the third breath in. Om. Wonderful. So what we're going to do is do a little bit of grounding exercise. And you heard me mention earth breath. There's a group healing that just exists of this earth breath, but I'm going to give you a taste of it right now, because the earth breath works in helping us ground, but it also helps us recalibrate. It's an excellent diagnostic, because as our body is coming into grounding, what this earth breath points out is what isn't grounded within us. And so, inviting you to put your awareness in your root chakra. And for those of you who are new, I'm going to create a high frequency grounding cord. There we go. Because your grounding cord is calibrated to when you came into the planet. This high frequency grounding cord is like, you have updates on your apps. It's like an update to your grounding cord. There we go. For some of you, do you feel like it's easier now to ground? That's what this update does. It's like grounding cord 2.0. So now feel into that grounding cord, which is at the base of your spine, and I'm inviting you to gently breathe down into your root chakra through the floor, the couch, the bed, the chair you're sitting on, through the layers of your building or house, the sub basement, into the topsoil, all the way down through the various layers of the earth the geological layers, the shale, the rock, the water tables, into the molten core, where we're going to connect to the heart of Gaia like you're plugging into a light socket, or more appropriately, plugging in like an umbilical cord to Mother, because Gaia is our Earth Mother. So plugging into Gaia and really feeling that connection and letting that essence come back into our physical body by breathing it back up, first through the soles of our feet to our ankles and shins and calves and knees, and percolating up into our thighs and pelvis and the lower intestines and all the organs, your midsection up through your spine, into your rib cage, your heart, your lungs, your chest, into your shoulders, down each of your arms, into your fingers and hands and palms, and up into your neck, your face, your skull, your hair, your crown. And it's going all the way up to the center of the galaxy, mingling with your higher self, with your soul, your spiritual self, and breathing it back down into your body to pull it all the way down into the center of the earth, where we're inviting it to fuse with the groundedness of earth. Earth is awakening. Her divinity is recognizing your divinity. And what we can call that is oneness, the oneness of everything. So inviting you to breathe this oneness, like you're in a giant pillar of light. And this light is pulsating with breath. And this pulsation can appear like a rhythm to you, or it can be like a beam of light that breathes for you. And if this is a hard process, because for a lot of people right now, there's a lot of turmoil going on. I heard from a lot of people that have a lot of serious stuff that they're going through. So I'm going to invite you to do another exercise along with this earth breath, to gently breathe in through your nose to a count of 4, and exhale out through your mouth in a whoosh sound to a count of 6 or longer. And continue this for the next couple minutes. Breathing in through your nose is receiving this oneness energy. A count of 4. And when you exhale, you're just letting go of everything that isn't working for you right now. Breathing in through your nose, receiving, taking in all the beautiful light that's around you. Exhaling out through your mouth. This is really good for the nervous system. You can already feel how much calmness this is bringing. So if, again, this process is difficult for you, continue on with this 2-part breathing exercise. Receiving, receiving, receiving. Letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go. So as you continue with whatever method, the earth breathing you, you breathing with the earth as one breath, one heartbeat, one light. What I'm going to do is recalibrate your system, chakra by chakra, because again, the earth breath is a diagnostic. And it's going to show me, based on our theme of anger, what is out of sync right now for you, for this group. And we're going to start at the subroot first chakra, which is sometimes called the earth star. It's about a foot below your feet. It's how you connect more deeply with the earth. And starting at the earth star. Yeah, so what we're bumping into is the fear of being connected to the earth because of some anger issue, some fear. We actually did the fear of anger in one of our sessions a couple of weeks ago. I think it was one of the first sessions, but we'll see what it blossoms into. So right here at the earth star, and it feels like a really distant fear, like you're not even aware that this fear exists. There we go. We're working with a lot of goddess energy, the goddess Durga, the goddess Kali, Mother Mira, that are really helping to act as a drain, act as this centrifugal force that just pulls out some of these blocks that we're running into. So now coming into the root chakra. Yeah, okay, so it's a disconnect of this fear of your own anger, of feeling your own anger, or feeling any kind of emotion tied to anger. And there's a lot. There's hurt, there's pain, there's trauma. Anger is one of those networked issues, that's an umbrella for a lot of other things, which is why it's hard to face. And so this fear has created a disconnect, like you're on one side of the highway and all these cars are going by, and your anger or your hurt or your pain's on the other side, and there isn't a way across because fear says, yeah, I ain't going. And it's so deep, it's so repressed again that you wouldn't even know it's there. It's really unconscious. So we're just going to point it out and let source recalibrate your root chakra for this fear as a disconnect. And see what it opens up for you. Even if it just opens up a flow so you can get to the other side of that highway. It's a good thing because your self-awareness is your superpower. There we go. Yeah, there's the anger. So right in your root chakra, there's some brewing hate. And that fear disconnects. So when you cross over to the other side of the highway, you're going to find some hate there. And so the process of transformation is to become friends, because something that's repressed is asking to come up for air, to be embraced, to be seen, to be felt, to detach from its hold on you, to become a witness to it, all these different things, in your toolbox. And so for some people in the root chakra, there's a pattern of hate, whether it's hate for others, hate for self, hate for humanity. There's certainly a lot of different places that you can point that hate in. There we go. And cleared whatever was ready to be cleared. And now coming into your solar or your sacral chakra, which is a couple inches below your belly button. Yep, there's that fear. There's that disconnect that says, if I go into this pattern, there's something to fear because of it. Can't cross that highway. That highway's too busy. Or if I go over into that other highway and I face that trauma or that hate, that's why I pushed it down because it seemed too overwhelming. But here in this sacred space, Source is doing the heavy lifting for you with the grace of divine consciousness. We're meeting whatever is on that other side, whatever's left over. Rest assured, will be something you can handle. There we go. I'm kind of breaking down this fear of facing ... some anger pattern that's created a disconnect, which is again a hidden pattern that you probably weren't even aware that you were disconnected from it. As some people mentioned, that was the case for them. So now coming up into your solar plexus, and there's that fear. It's more palpable. So this kind of fear in your solar plexus is something that you tend to push down. We sometimes do questions for introspection so that we can get your awareness into what's trying to bubble up for you. And here, what's trying to bubble up is, hey, what are you disconnected from? What are you afraid of facing in that third chakra? What is that fear that prevents you from being with whatever's on the other side of the highway? And those cars driving by are just distractions, you streaming TV, surfing the internet, keeping busy. These are all distractions. These are all cars on the highway saying, yeah, you don't need to go over there, which is a common method of avoidance. But you don't even know you're doing it. That's what this fear, this disconnect feels like. But it's more palpable in the third chakra. So it's asking you to ask your system, what are you afraid of? And see if you can get an answer. Maybe you're just afraid of fear itself. Maybe when you get into that fear, all it really is like, and I've brought up this metaphor before, like that Wizard of Oz trip, where Dorothy is faced with this big head that's screaming at her and blowing smoke and fire, and really Toto goes over and pulls the curtain aside and there's just a man pulling levers. That wasn't the case. That was an illusion. And sometimes fear is just that. It's just a big old blustery illusion that keeps us from crossing over the highway. So that's the question for introspection. What is it that you're afraid of? There we go. Now coming into your heart chakra. And this fear is more palpable as well. This fear has some hurt in it. What you're afraid of feeling is some old hurt. So the divine coming in and putting that hurt through the washing machine. There we go. So the lower chakras had to disconnect as we come up to the higher chakras. The fear is more palpable. The fear turns into hurt. Hurt is just another component of anger. Hurt and anger go hand in hand. As someone mentioned earlier when we were talking, Um, she's always felt angry, and maybe underneath that anger, there was a pattern of hurt there, not being seen, not being heard, not being validated, and it expressed itself as anger. So the hurt just wants to be seen here, wants to be held, wants to be embraced. Yeah, and there's some pain in that hurt. Whew. Now coming into the throat chakra, and there's the fear. The fear that disconnects you from dot dot dot. What? Yes, we're pointing at anger, but again, remember, anger is an umbrella. It's networked, it's entangled with a lot of other things. Typically, at the root of anger is something else, some wound, some trauma. And so this fear says, I can't even get into that door of anger, can't even cross the highway of anger. So, in breaking down this fear, it'll help open up your awareness or open up accessibility so that you can really see what's there and bring your awareness into it and express it. Cry, grieve, scream, sing, chant, pound those drums. Let it out. Yeah, a whole bunch of stuff just came out of them. Thyroid, the throat chakra, the back of the neck, top of the shoulders. My goodness gracious. A lot of burdens here of this particular pattern. Why is it important to crack open fear? Because again, this fear pattern says, I can't even get to the issue on the other side of the highway, or the issue on the other side of the canyon, the bridge broken down. Because I'm afraid of something, guilt, shame, anger, pain, hurt. And we've been conditioned to do that from little kids growing up, not being seen, not being heard, not being validated, not having our emotions respected or allowed to flow. Oh, there's a lot in the throat chakra. So now coming into the brow chakra. Oh, there's more of this. Again, to me, it feels like the woundedness underneath anger. What you don't want to see, what you don't want to hear. Mental chatter, the rumination, the emotional overwhelm. You're just afraid of it. But again, it's like that blustery head from the Wizard of Oz. When you pull back the curtain, you're going to see that that blustery fear is nothing but someone pulling the levers. But you don't know that until you pull back the curtain for yourself. There we go. So now coming into the crown and inviting the crown to open up to the extent that it's ready to receive and bring in more light, because sometimes that light can feel threatening, not letting in higher frequencies or light is a form of self protection. There we go. Beautiful. So now coming back to the earth breath, breathing down through all your chakras, transforming how they work together. Notice there's more flow in your system now. Because Source just pointed out something that was out of balance. This fear pattern that says, I don't want to face something. And there's a big group here. So for each of you, it's different. And that's for you to find out, or for you to trust that it's gone, or that it's breaking down, or in the process of breaking down. You may need to listen to this again. The replay will be up on the YouTube channel. You need another pass or two or three to get into that fear, because maybe it's a sticky kind of fear. Everybody's different. So we're going to put structures into this fear pattern, and for the next couple of minutes, and true structure is to help bridge your awareness again into that question that we asked earlier. What is it that you're afraid of? And this question could change. It could be something you hadn't thought about in ages. It could be something really obvious that you kind of skipped over. Or it could be something that needs to percolate for a while. And all of a sudden you get an insight. You won't even associate it with this healing. You'll just kind of go, oh, yeah, that makes sense. We're just going to point this beautiful energy called Debbie Grace at this pattern of fear just for a couple minutes. There we go. And again, this pattern of fear seems to be tied to an old hurt that has been unresolved. Something that you may relate to in this lifetime, a relationship that ended, or a slight, or even just a really big event that crushed you, and everything in between. This fear said, yeah, I wasn't ready to deal with that hurt when it happened. So I kind of just stepped over it. And the fuel of source, it's just transforming, it's dissolving this pattern to the extent that you're ready to receive. Imagine there's a big drain beneath your feet, and everything that is affiliated, related to this conditioned consciousness, this separation pattern, it's just flowing down that drain. And all you have to do is open up, receive, allow, let the energy do the work. It may help to get your awareness into it so that you can use it as wisdom, you know, um, and change the way that you approach fear in the future. That's why awareness is helpful. But for now, maybe you just need to receive, to feel cared for and nurtured, to feel like there's a greater force It's never left you, will never leave you. It is always a part of you. Maybe that fear is a question mark. Does that even exist? Because maybe that hurt was, oh my gosh, God or the divine or a human being that was of authority let me down. Maybe that may be the pattern for some of you. And so Source coming in with a big, huge hug and says, I'm here. I'll never leave you. Always a part of you. I'm just helping you remember. So that you can remember that Source isn't something outside of you. That you are this divinity. But again, separation consciousness, especially this fear, says, yeah, no, that doesn't, yeah, that's not possible. I'm hurt. And that blocks, it's an obstruction from really experiencing that remembrance as a lived expression of your divine beingness. So that's what we do in multidimensional healing, week in, week out, as we strip away these patterns, separation consciousness that keep you in a place of forgetting. So let's do that now. It feels like whatever needed to clear from this fear pattern has lightened up. If there's more to do, again, listen to the replay. We're going to come into something called the Truth Tower. Truth Tower is this beautiful space, sacred space. There's an actual place in Mount Kailash where we meet, which is a really sacred mountain, but it's also an interface between worlds, and where your feet literally are in the center of the planet, your crown is in the center of the galaxy, your spine merged with all your timelines, and we're going to bring in the consciousness free of this fear. Because that blueprint of you interdimensionally already exists, where you've worked through every single issue related to this. You've gained all the wisdom. That's why sometimes when you work on a pattern, it circles back around. You're like, oh, I already worked on that. Well, it'll come up again to allow you to gain some sort of insight or wisdom or pattern or learn something from it or learn something more about yourself or strip away something that was preventing you from, aha, these light bulb moments. Life is a constant evolution of expansion and contraction. Expansion and contraction. And sometimes we're contracting and sometimes we're expanding. And things that we think are happening by chance, they're really not. We're just remembering that we're a part of this vibrant fabric of universal awareness. Consciousness that is a part of everything. And so that's what's coming in as we strip away this fear. What's coming in is a remembrance of you, grounded, present, awake, aware. It's more groundedness in your body. There we go. It's more of a grounded embodiment because this fear prevented you from being in your body in a more sacred way. And if you've ever read The Body Keeps the Score or know anything about awakening, embodiment is a really big process. You can have all these intellectual philosophies and intelligence about what's going on with the awakening and inner work, but if you're not living it in your body, there's a part of you that isn't present. So we're going to bring in this grounded presence into your body to help your body remember its sacredness. So I'm bringing up our dimensional blueprints for this grounded presence, embodied presence. There we go. And then we're going to spend the next 5 minutes we have left attuning and aligning to this grounded presence. Alchemy codes coming in, Angel Jophiel always sprinkles seeds of awareness, of grounded presence. Help your body remember. Little lamps, the darkness or the contractions or the densities or the dark spots in your body that still may hold some hurt or some pain or some hidden aspect. The awakening process is a constant re-remembering things that we didn't know. And so embracing the fact that you know literally nothing is a wonderful attribute. Because then you're opening up your curiosity to say, oh, what is that? It's very much of a childlike approach. But hurt says no, fear says no. And so we're attuning and aligning to this grounded presence so that you can open up to the new attributes of innocence, of joy, just being more present in whatever way feels more natural and authentic to you. Of course, it's going into your cells, your atoms, quarks, your whole energy body, lining and soaking with grounded presence. Inviting you to be more in your body in a way that is timeless, fearless, infinite. Presence is actually pure awareness. But there are parts of your body that are stuck in patterns like anger, hurt, grief, woundedness, trauma. So as we chip away, more of this pure awareness becomes more accessible. So aligning and attuning to this pure awareness, this grounded presence in your body. It's lighting up your system. A lot of happy energy. And the purpose of every single time we meet, because that is my mission here on the planet, is to send this out to the planet, send this out to the earth as a prayer. Joining in harmonic resonance, joining with a morphogenetic field, if you're familiar with Rupert Sheldrake's work, that immediately sends this out, radiating waves out to everyone and everything. And it's sending out the vibration of grounded presence, especially anyone and anything in a place of fear, fear of facing some emotional challenge. So grounded presence coming in like waves, radiating waves. And we envision that it's floating like white flowers of peace or snowflakes or little sparks or seeds up into the atmosphere, falling on the mountains, into the forests and trees, falling into all the oceans, throughout all the rivers and lakes and streams, deep into the soil, all the way to the center of the earth, into the microbes, into all plant life and mushrooms and fungus, into all human life, animals, insects, birds, marine life, everywhere, permeating all consciousness, radiating presence, grounding, especially anything experiencing fear. What a gift this is. It is amplified by Source thousandfold, 10,000-fold, infinitely, because that is the intention of our group. Is what we work on gets sent out like a prayer. But first, it happens to us. We are the key put into the lock. As we turn the lock, it opens the door to this radiating presence to become embodied for all the planet. And what a gift that is. What a gift you are. Amplifying this all with love now, just as like a boost of energy, enhancing our prayer presence, grounding in beingness, grounding in our bodies, and also adding gratitude. Gratitude for the time you took here today. Thank you. Thank you to Source Intelligence, to the Angel Jophiel for really helping, illuminating, and guiding. Thank you. And as we end, singing a sacred Sanskrit mantra whose literal meaning translates, may we be led from untruth to truth, from darkness to light, from death to immortality, and may there be peace and freedom on the earth, and may we be conduits of that peace and freedom. Om Asatoma Sakamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mirchoma Tram Gamaya Om Shanti 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 Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Om Shanti 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 Om Shri Guru Namaha Peace, peace, peace. May this embodied presence continue to expand and seed and blossom into flowers of peace. Taking a deep breath, bringing you up and out of the space of grace. It is done. It is complete. So it is, so it is, so it is. Bowing my head in gratitude and thankfulness for our time together. But don't feel like you need to pop up and out of this experience yet. Let this energy keep flowing for 5-10 minutes or even longer. Until next time, be blessed.